the covers are off now, so I'll still use them if it's frosty at night, but this is the garden at the moment. Let's walk you down. So I've just literally laid these wood chip paths, so it's all looking a little bit nicer. On this side here, under this netting, is, if you've seen my other videos, the lettuce that I planted out quite a while ago now. And if I lift this up, lettuce is looking absolutely lovely under there. That's ripe for picking. So when I harvest stuff, I just, lettuce wise, just use the outside leaves and then they'll just keep growing. Spinach down here, and then I've literally just planted out this spinach, well, about a week ago now, so it's looking a little bit haggard. And then celery looking good. And then over here is some chard, which is not looking quite so good. I might have to sow some more of that later on. The brassica bed, so at the back there's a parsnip here that I'm letting go to seed. I grow parsnips on my other plot purely because I don't have to do anything with them. I can just sow them and leave them. I'm not a massive fan, so I don't grow that many, but they take up quite a lot of space and they take a long time to grow, so they're in the other plot. So the brassicas here, I've got some broccoli at the back, some cabbages, cauliflower, and you can see there how much that's been eaten. That's actually from a pigeon. I had covered it but not well enough, and it had got all the ones at the side, nipped off all the ones at the side, whereas the ones under the cover it didn't touch. So that's a lesson learned, to keep that netted. So I've got a net, but it's open at the bottom to allow the small birds to get out. Now pigeons don't really like going under anything, so this is perfect. Don't know if you can see that. There you go. This is perfect, just kind of draped over the top, just as a bit of a deterrent really. Kohlrabi always looks amazing in colour. And then fennel, that seems to be growing well. I love these lovely little fronds. They're so bright in colour, they're amazing. And then I've got multi-sown beetroot. These are doing really well as well. You see there's probably about 4 or 5 beets there that I'll let grow on and then break them apart when I need to harvest them. And then this is the onions there, and then a load of broad beans. I've got crimson flowered, which are these amazing ones here. Colour of those is unbelievable in the veggie patch, absolutely adore them. And then there's some back here that I don't actually know the name of. I think they're called Masterpiece Long Pod, but they've got a lovely lilac flower. These will need staking soon, but I haven't sorted that out yet. Garlic, that's starting to perk up. And then under here, now I did sow some pak choi, but it's all flowered, and that's because I pretty much sowed it at the wrong time. I knew I had, I just sort of took a chance, but you can see the pak choi there has flowered, so that needs pulling really. And then I've planted some mini courgette, not mini courgettes, some small seedlings of courgettes. They're quite strong in their growth and they're covered in fleece. What we now sort of mid-May. I'm giving them a go early. The other ones I'll just grow on and then see how they do. Self-seeded limnanthes, and then I've got my peas and my broad beans, peas and mange too. And then there's my wigwam for when I plant out my climbing beans. I've just sown them, so you're looking at about 4 weeks before I plant them out. And then there's a bit more chard popped in down the bottom there. This is Lollo Rosso that was sown mid-March. It's looking fine, hasn't actually been eaten by the slugs yet, which is an absolute miracle. It's not covered. I just thought I'd put it there because then they'll get shaded by the peas, and they don't like too much sun, so that's good. This is my new, well actually it's not new, this is my plant support that I got given from a friend who moved abroad, and I absolutely adore it. It's really, really pretty, but I had a rose in it, and I'm going to grow my cucumbers up it. At the moment it's just kind of stuck in where the limnanthes and where the borage is. You can see there, that's all coming up, so this is going to look lovely, but that will support the borage a bit because that's a bit of a floppy plant, it's a bit tall. And then once the limnanthes dies back, which it will do, then I'll plant the cucumbers and hopefully train them up that. I'm quite pleased with that. I've got a new little table over there, cute. I'm trying to just tidy up things a little bit. It's one of my favourite things, this shed. My husband made it for me, and honestly it's like better than my house. And then I've got a cold frame here. Now in the cold frame I have got coriander, some leftover tomatoes that I'm going to pot on and grow on outside, brassicas and some spring onions there. Let me just show you in here. Ooh, trying to do things one-handed. So that's a lot of cosmos that needs to be pinched out. If you pinch out your cosmos, so by pinching out I mean take the tops off, the growing tip, they'll spread out, so they'll effectively branch out, and you just get a bushier plant, more flowers. So rather than it just going kind of quite tall, it's just a better way to produce more. And then lots and lots of sunflowers. I obviously won't I won't grow all of these myself. Some of them are for my bench outside the front of the house. People love sunflowers, so I've grown quite a lot to sell as well. Oh, and there was some leeks back there, ow, too. And then here, just a load of dahlias. Now, I've never been a dahlia fan, but for some reason I seem to have 30 different varieties. So they are all looking good. Some of them haven't done a thing at all. So like this one, it's a weed. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know if it's going to come Thomas Edison. No idea. They're from, where are they from? Can't remember where I've bought them from, to be honest. Yeah, they're all looking okay. Some of them haven't got any growth, so yeah, who knows, but they will be potted up at some point. Now I grow them all in pots. These ones have gone mad. I might try and take a cutting off these because they're quite easy to do, and then you can just obviously propagate, make more from nothing, which is perfect. And then let's go and look in the greenhouse. Oh, this is actually, I forgot to show you this last time. This is my carrot bed. Now it's covered with fleece because mainly of the carrot root fly, and also to help it germinate. It's very weedy, but you can see quite a lot of carrots are germinating. It looks a mess, but it'll be absolutely fine. I've just sown some more in the gaps, and that will be ready at some point. It's quite nice here actually in this corner because it gets the sun, not all the time, but it gets it, the sun sort of sets over there, so you get the evening sun, which is lovely. From about, I guess, 2 o'clock onwards, this is in full sun. This is a rose that I rescued actually, shoved it in a pot. It's got the most amazing bulbous, it's a David Austin rose, it's called Jude the Obscure, and it's got these lovely bulbous flowers on it. Far too heavy for the plant, which is kind of typical of David Austin, but they are beautiful, and if you put them in a vase it smells incredible. This little thing here is a Bengal crimson rose. Now it was like a tiny little stick when I bought it from Dixter. Now Dixter Nurseries is one of my favourite nurseries ever. They are basically, they know what they're doing. They're a small nursery and they produce amazing plants. Now this is not looking particularly happy, but I do need to pot it on. But look at the colour of that. Unbelievable colour. It's a climber. So at one point, or at some point, I'm hoping to get it up the house. Absolutely knock out with a flower that is. Right. Then lastly, a few flowers here. Peony, some cerinthe, and that's an aster in that pot there. Little bits and pieces. I love these tiny little flowers. I'm a bit of a sucker for sort of cute cottaginess. And this is one of my favourites here, alyssum. I've grown some of that in the greenhouse as well. The more flowers I can stick in the greenhouse, the better. So if I go up there, you can see there's some alyssum back there. This is chervil that's gone to seed. I just left it in here because I will collect the seed a little bit later. But look at how unbelievably cute, oops, these flowers are. Can I just get that in focus? They are so pretty. Teeny little white flowers. So there's a self-seeded Cerinthe back there. You can see the difference between inside one, absolutely full in flower, and one that's been outside in Sussex at the moment. The weather's not been great, but it's coming into flower, but it's nowhere near as advanced as the one that's in the greenhouse. And then basically all my tomatoes. So the tomatoes have been planted up with marigolds in between, so you can see those there. And they are all in something called a plant halo. I showed you that last time, just trialling a new way to water. They've got holes at the bottom, they're like a little moat, and hopefully it just means that I can regulate my water a bit better, know how much I'm giving each plant. I'm terrible at watering and I'm massively inconsistent, so I'm trying to up my game with that because it really pays with a tomato. You can see this one here, I've put a string up. Now the string I've used is really tiny and really thin. It's like a cheese wire. So I'm actually buying some more today to do the rest of them. And that will be tied up to the top. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it up there. And basically you wind it around the plant, as you can see here, and it supports it. I have used canes before, but it's quite difficult to get a long cane in on the sloping sides of the greenhouse. So string is quite useful. Yeah, so these are all different types. I've probably got about 30 varieties of tomatoes. Some are looking much better than others. And at the back, these aubergines are due to be potted on today. They are well overdue. That's the 6th of February they were sown. They've been on heat, they're not on heat now, but they're looking good. They just need the next size up. And then a whole load of chilies and peppers. Now eventually, I'm still playing Tetris, trying to move things, shuffle things around, but eventually they will go in this back section here that's got these potted tomatoes. So the potted tomatoes I'm hoping to plant out outside. They've got quite big already. You can see that one's sort of going all over the place. And it's probably about 4.5 foot wide, this section there. Ooh, if I go back, so it's an L shape. The beds in the greenhouse are an L shape. So that back bit there, I'm going to fill with sweet peppers and some chilies, hopefully. And then the aubergines will go in a pot and they will be moved around the garden. And, well, I don't know, really. Sometimes I just don't know what I'm going to do with everything. But they worked really well in the pot last year. They were in here on that table, but I'm kind of reluctant to keep that table in because it will shade the stuff at the back. Anyway, I haven't quite decided yet. Yeah, so all the tomatoes down here, up the top. Actually, I will show you that. Up the top, courgettes. You saw a couple of them that I'd planted out already. Courgettes, pumpkins, squash. The rest of them will just go into small pots to grow on, and then they'll go out. I basically grow the squash and the pumpkins at the other plot that I don't worry about too much. They can just do their own thing, and the courgettes stay here because I harvest them sort of a bit more readily. Cucumbers, and then this is a load of flowers, so I've got quite a lot of poppies there. And what else have I got? What is that at the end? Black poppies and pastel coloured poppies. Yeah, that's it. Starting to rain now, which is a bit of a shame. But so far so good. The little things that you can see at the front here, this is alyssum, it's called royal carpet, and hopefully these will kind of spill over the edge. I'm leaving all the flowers in here. There's a self-seeded nasturtium there. Yeah, the more flowers I can get in here, the more insects I'll encourage, and then the more insects, the more they'll pollinate the flowers. You can see that the tomatoes are starting to flower now. So they're now producing quite a lot of flowers, and I need them pollinating to produce fruit. So I like to encourage as many insects as I can in here. And then that's it. The cosmos will be planted in this bed that you can see outside the back of the greenhouse here. It's kind of a bit of a mess, so my husband says anyway. But I kind of quite like it like that. There's a lot of food for the bees at the moment. And that's it. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully when this lot have grown up a bit.